Welcome back to Poon. My name is my channel. Thanks for your time and hope you have a nice day. Josh Duggar has one final chance to accept a plea bargain. We reported earlier this week that Josh Duggar had turned down a plea deal offered by federal prosecutors. The deadline for accepting such a deal was October 18th, and Josh let that date pass without entering a guilty plea. In most cases, this means he passed up an opportunity to accept a shorter sentence, and will now have to face the consequences in court. However, there is still a chance that Josh will be able to work out an 11th-hour deal that will allow him to avoid spending the next 2 decades in prison. According to a new New York Post report, the judge in Josh's case signed a plea deal in July, indicating that he can still make a plea deal with the defendant if he believes he has exceptionally good cause to do so. The affidavit does not go into specifics about what constitutes exceptionally good cause. In all likelihood, deliberately ambiguous language was used to give the judge a lot of leeway in terms of his requirements. Prosecutors would almost certainly prefer Josh to accept a plea deal, avoiding a lengthy and messy trial and the possibility of a hung jury or an acquittal. But there is only so much they can do in this situation. With the trial beginning in just over 5 weeks, Josh would need to seek a plea deal to take advantage of this final loophole. And, based on what we've seen thus far, it appears unlikely that he will. According to sources, Josh is still confident that he will be able to beat the charges against him. Several members of Josh's family, including his parents, Jim, Bob and Michelle, and his wife Anna, remain convinced that he is innocent and that the truth will be revealed during his trial. According to Anna, Josh was framed by the Biden administration and would not have been arrested if Donald Trump had been re-elected. Obviously, Josh's lawyers will not make such a ridiculous argument in court, and it appears that they may be out of options. The defense filed 5 motions to dismiss evidence, hoping that a lack of evidence would force prosecutors to drop their case before it even went to trial. Their claims that evidence had been mishandled or illegally gathered appeared to be the bedrock of their strategy. However, all 5 of their motions have now been denied, and it's unclear what strategy Josh's lawyers will take next. In any case, Josh is now faced with a difficult choice. While the specifics of the plea deal offered to him have been kept under wraps, it would almost certainly include several years in federal prison, which is probably not appealing to Josh right now. The alternative is for Josh to fight the charges and hope for acquittal by a jury. Josh could face up to 20 years in prison if he is found guilty. Further complicating matters is the fact that entering a guilty plea implies accepting accountability, which would irreparably harm the Duggar family's already tarnished reputation. Josh's decision to risk 20 years in prison in order to avoid upsetting his father appears insane. But then, almost everything about the Duggars appears insane these days.
She continued, "It was fun to see so much joy in the boys' faces as we shared the news with them. They were full of questions and so excited as we talked about the pregnancy and how they would get to be involved along the way and after baby was born. However, a few days later, we started miscarrying. The pair picked out the name because of the various meanings behind it, including tranquil. They added that rivers are often a serene, beautiful escape in nature." Joe continued in the emotional blog,